Hello from Memory Bound, and we are here for a clean and simple day with Chris. And yesterday on our video, we talked about how we are going to be doing clean and simple cards and projects for the next couple weeks. Thanks to Maggie, it was her idea to get started. And Chris, you're kicking us off.
I am. That's pretty exciting.
It's very exciting. Chris is kicking us off today, and she's got a layout and she's got cards. And just as a reminder about what clean and simple is, and maybe we'll put Chris on the spot and ask you, Chris. And Chris, and everybody has kind of their own ideas of clean and simple, and we have a loose definition here at Memory Bound. So tell us what you are thinking about with clean and simple. I'm sorry I didn't warn you ahead of time,
that's all
Chris,
right. That's okay.
but I know you got it.
Well, I have been looking at clean and simple on Pinterest for probably 6 months.
Oh, you were even thinking about it ahead of time.
Yeah, I think it's very elegant.
That's a good word.
I like it because it's very few colors. Now you can do lots of techniques, like this one, my pop of color, and you don't have to have a pop of color. You can have it all white if you want. But like Katie using the embossing folder yesterday, it adds dimension. I used a die cut in there, the Elizabeth Craft one. But I think clean and simple to me is clean lines and not too fussy, you know?
Little more. Gosh, I want to say the word simple, but then that's not really helping.
Well, but, you know, and everybody's idea of it is a little different. Like I told Kelly, I'm going rogue today, and my page layout is going to be white, but my card that I'm making is going to be craft with black, but I'm only using those two colors. So I think maybe for me, clean and simple is keeping it to two colors for me.
Colors, that's a good one. That's a good way to describe it.
You don't want your eye to be overwhelmed looking at, and I was in Vegas this week. You know,
so you're going from one extreme to the other?
My gosh, my mind is a little overwhelmed by all the lights, and nothing there is clean and simple.
It's the opposite of Vegas.
Yes. So to me, clean and simple is calm. You look at it and you feel calm.
I like that too, Chris. That's a good description.
For me, that's what it is. And everybody has a different definition of it.
Well, and welcome back from Vegas, Chris.
You.
Chris got back, and her first morning back this morning, she's here doing a demo for us. So we really appreciate that.
Well, I am glad to do it. I was watching your demo yesterday on how to use our website.
Oh, yes.
And I commented I should be cleaning and getting ready for a demo, but I'm learning so much.
Well, I did too, actually, Chris. It's in a way it's a little embarrassing, but I knew we had a wish list, but I wasn't exactly sure how it worked.
Right.
So viewers might have noticed that, or maybe you didn't notice it.
No, I thought it was very
We all
smooth.
learned a lot yesterday, and I did also.
Good.
So that we love it to know how to use the resources that we have for you, and it helps everybody.
Well, definitely. And, you know, I wanted to learn what I could, because if a customer asked me a question, I'd like to be able to help
know
them and
know what the answer is.
Yeah, and not go,
because we don't order online.
No.
We don't shop online, those of us that work here, because obviously we're here in the store. Luckily for us,
yes,
right, Chris?
I came 15 minutes early so I could shop and get some things that I missed while I was gone. So,
well, we're glad you're back, and
Well,
we're really
thank you.
glad that you're here today to kick off our clean and simple cards. And we've got lots of people joining us, so good morning, everybody. What is today, Chris?
Wednesday the 15th?
Wednesday the 15th, so it is hump day.
yeah. Ooh,
It's
hump day, dump day.
Hump day, dump day.
Oh, man. I don't know what we could dump, but.
We'll find something to dump.
Do you want me to kind of go over what I used?
Yeah. Do you want to show us each card and then show us what you're going to make, or?
I used the Elizabeth Craft, and I don't know where the name
it
is.
says Fancy Cutaways.
There we go. Now, here's the size of them.
Which they're an ATC size, but I see you use them for something different.
Yes, and I think you could easily use this on the front of one of these cards. Well, not this one, and put something on top of it.
And just cut it out in white.
Yes, yep. But I've got to tell you, these dies, I thought, some of them are kind of intricate. Am I going to have an issue? I didn't need my pick or anything.
Nice. That's awesome.
The insides fell out like confetti. It was So amazing. I love these. I used that on this one
Oh, I didn't recognize that.
and this one.
Okay, so that's the little vine and the little diamonds.
Yep. And then I used, whoopsie, also on this one. So you can see the totally different looks.
Yeah, each one is a little different.
Oh, and I forgot the square dies, but you guys know what square dies look like.
So that was the fancy cutaways
Yeah.
that she put in her background.
And then I used the heart
Twiggy,
from this
Things.
Elizabeth Craft one here.
twiggy things right here. And cut it out white on white. And oh my gosh, hang on a second. Kathy says happy anniversary to us. So happy anniversary, Kathy. That is wonderful. Got lots of people joining us today,
Well, good.
Chris.
Yay. And then I used
Oh.
Katie Petite's 49 and Market die and stamp set. And I did
Physics.
these butterflies.
Okay, so
And-
there's one of the butterflies that she did on vellum.
I did it on vellum and then I heat embossed. And I think if I had had the thin vellum at home, it may have worked a little better. You can't really tell, but there's a few areas where
Oh,
it
I don't see that
popped
at all.
off. But it gives it that rustic look too,
Yeah.
that worn
so
look.
is that thin vellum or thick vellum?
This one that I had
29
at
or 40
home,
pound?
the one that I had at home was 40.
Okay, so it's the thicker vellum.
Yes.
Okay. So she used the thicker vellum, the 40-pound vellum, and she was able to heat emboss.
Now,
And she did it on, here's another one of the butterflies. And you could stamp them also.
oh
if you
yeah,
wanted
definitely.
to.
And we're going to be doing that later.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then I used, I think this is floral green or greenery floral, or no, you'd read it, but
Let me read
I can't
it.
read it upside.
Greenery Fillers number
one.
one, another Elizabeth Craft. I think we've got an Elizabeth Craft fan in the studio this morning.
Well, I never used to be, just because I hadn't used it. But now that I've used it,
And you get a lot in the
yes,
packages.
you do.
So you use that on here?
I used that on here. What I did was cut a strip, cut out my greenery, saved it, and then laid it back on top. I stuck the green underneath. And I guess I used a darker green than this. But just to kind of give that dimension, this I just scored a white piece of paper just to give it some
make
depth.
yep.
Yep. And
Because there aren't embossing folders that I know of that are 12 inches long. So that is a great way to get a more larger embossing space is by scoring on your scoreboard.
And you could do one of the 6-inch embossing folders, but I am not that talented to line it up.
to line it
perfectly.
up?
Yeah, it's not going to happen for me. And then I just did the same thing in card form.
That's really beautiful. What
Thank
a
you.
great wedding page,
Yeah.
memorial, a family picture, Mother's Day. There's so many uses for that. And there's the card, and she's got that scored border along the bottom.
So I guess it just shows you don't have to use multiple colors to get dimension and interest into your
Exactly.
page and cards. And then I got the snowflake out because I'm going to be using that later.
Okay, the snowflake. Okay, the
Yep.
snowflake is a honeybee snowflake, and does it say what it is on the back, Chris? It doesn't say.
It is Lovely Layers Large Snowflakes.
Okay, lovely layers, large snowflakes, and we have a question. Let's see. The question is, vellum on the card that Chris is holding now. Did she stick the valance down, please? We might, Marcia. I'm not exactly sure, but you were holding this one.
Yep.
And she just attached the body of the butterfly. I was going to say of the snowflake. I'm not sure if that's your question, so please tell us again what your question is. But both of them, she left them kind of free and just attached the bottom. Maybe
Correct.
with a foam. I'm not sure what you
I-
use for adhesive.
I used a glue dot,
A glue dot. Okay.
which I forgot to bring with me today.
They love
but
the
it'll be
green
fine.
and white, Chris.
Oh, thank
so
you.
I know you've used it here and then you used it on your page.
Yep. And that's the darker green.
Green's just kind of a good neutral.
It is. And I thought especially behind those leaves, and the vine, it just worked well.
And Chris, a lot of people really like the clean and simple, and I think they're happy that we're doing something
Good.
like this. So thank you, Maggie, and thank you everyone that's doing demos for us the next couple weeks.
Well, I think sometimes trying something new can be intimidating, but you have to remember it's just a piece of paper. If you do something and you don't like it, then put it in the trash. Nobody's going to know.
Okay, Marcia says no on the strip card with the fine. How did she put the the volume down?
This one? No.
There might be a typo in there. So, Marcia, I'm really sorry, but give us one more chance at it if you could, and then we'll go ahead and Chris shows. Oh, maybe it's the one with the vine. The one with the vine. I
The one
bet.
with the vine?
How did you put maybe the vine down?
Well, I'm actually going to make a card very similar to this today.
Oh, okay.
So we can go through it.
That'll be perfect then. All right. The vellum.
Oops.
How did you put the vellum down?
I just used a glue dot.
Just on the body.
Just on the body part.
Okay.
Left the wings so I could mess with them. And
Okay. Oh, nice. So Chris just used a glue dot on the body, and I'm sorry, vine and vellum on the vine card. Okay. I'm sorry, Marcia. I was having a little brain thing, but I think we've got it now that she used a glue dot to put her vellum down. And the vine, what kind of adhesive did you use on the vine, Chris?
I used my glue gun
Your glue
and
press?
my Nouveau glue.
Okay. So liquid glue with their glue press.
Yes.
All right, I think we got it. So
Okay.
thank you, Marcia. Thanks for the questions. We love questions, and we try to catch them all if we can, because if you have the questions, somebody else probably does too.
Exactly. I've got to say, I had gotten this when
Oh,
they
you're
first came
using
in.
your gotcha tool.
Yes, and whenever I do demos, I tend to have to ruffle through and find my dyes that I'm using. But
Not anymore.
Not anymore, no. And when I did it at home, it was nice to go, okay, these are the ones I'm using. And I was
So you
just
could just
able to
bring 'em
stick
in.
them there and be done.
So that's the
Didn't have to worry
newer
about it.
Sizzix gotcha tool, and I know a lot of you have it, and mine, I just, it's sitting back on my desk to take home. I just got one finally. So very nice, strong magnet for keeping your dies organized, or your pins if you're a quilter.
Okay, I'm going to use the Dragonfly, and I just find the spot where I want it, push it down.
So you're
And
stamping on vellum?
I'm
then,
stamping
Chris?
on
Okay,
vellum.
so we're stamping on vellum.
So I'm using archival, and the reason I'm starting with this is because I want it to have a chance to dry. So
Oh, okay. It does take longer
it
to dry
does
on
take
vellum.
longer, yes. Because vellum isn't porous like a paper is. There's almost like a little coating on it, and the ink will sit there for a minute.
So we're using the jet black archival ink from Ranger. And Chris is starting with the Dragonfly.
I'm anxious to see what this one turns out like, because I did one at home, and I don't know if maybe I pushed a little hard and the ink went, so I'm not going to push as hard.
Okay,
And
all
see
right.
what happens.
And this stamp is called Engraved Wings, designed by Katie Petit for $49 in market for Sizzix then. Oh, I like how you touch it with your little fingers there to...
And I like this open area because it gives a feeling of iridescence almost.
It does.
So I'm going to leave it alone. So this one I smushed down a little harder, and the ink dispersed. You can see how it filled in
Probably because of
on the body.
the vellum paper, I would
Yeah.
guess.
Well, and I was pushing too hard, I think. But it was my fault. So I'm going to set that aside. And I don't like my stamps to be dirty.
Oh,
So
you and Teresa are so good about stamp cleaning. So now, because she is using the jet black Ranger archival ink, there is an archival ink cleaner. And Chris is just using a towel. I know Teresa a lot of times just has a microfiber cloth that she takes everywhere. It's always on her lap when she's here demoing, and she just pulls it off. This is $5.99. And Chris, do you find this lasts a while?
yes, it
It's
does.
got that dauber top.
Exactly. But you can just see all the ink that came off
Well, and I will tell you, Chris, I never thought you had to clean archival ink. And then I was stamping, and I usually use black, and I went to use red on my stamp, and it did kind of reactivate the black, and I
Oh.
got like dark blackish red. So it is good to have a bottle of that archival cleaner handy.
I'm just going to set that there. Well, yeah, because you don't want to ruin your project by having it bleed all over. And then I'll cut that out later. And I like to put it right where it belongs.
So the set that Chris is using is stamps, but it also has the coordinating dies, which is a really pretty good deal for $19.99 if you're looking for a set of butterflies and a dragonfly, because, you know, having the dragonfly in there is just an extra little bonus.
Well, and I don't know why I love dragonflies, but I do. They just make me
They're
happy.
popular. If they make you happy, they make me happy then, Chris.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad we're happy.
We're happy.
All right.
I'm happy you're happy. Do you remember there was some phrase back in the day, I'm happy you're happy or something? I don't remember what it was, but maybe somebody will.
Well, I'm sure one of our customers will. Now, I used for all of my projects, I cut off the tag, I used the Color Vibe white.
So this is Color Vibe from Simple Stories, and this is the paper that one side has the little dots and the other side is more plain. Not
Correct.
totally plain. It's got there's kind of a texture to the Color Vibe. Kind of, I don't know what you would call it, a very fine texture.
Well,
It's not
I don't
smooth.
know, linen-y
Kind of
or
linen-y.
something. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to do this with the snowflakes.
Are we making a layout?
We are. And
Oh,
I'm
good.
going by the seat of my pants.
All right. Well, we
Now-
love that. We know you've been gone. She's been out of town, but she's back.
Do you want me to do black or blue?
Ooh.
We're going to put snowflakes. I think you'd get two totally different looks.
Let's see what the black looks like. I kind of like the blue for snowflakes. Maybe
Okay.
I'm just being, traditional.
Now, what I think black would be nice for is if you had somebody that, when my daughter was in high school, when I was thinking about this, I was like, 20 years ago, and then I went, oh, no, my daughter was in high school 30 years ago.
I
There was a dance called Crystal Ball.
Oh, yeah.
And
So that would be good
wouldn't
for
that be pretty?
the black, yeah.
Yep. Or if you had a winter wedding, you could
Yes.
do black. All right, so I'm going to put my paper aside and I'm going to
Oh, you're
score.
going to show us how to do the score line?
Yes, I'm going to put one of those.
So let me
Edges
go over
on
here.
there.
So on this layout, I need to get up close, but you can see the score line. She's got like a border here. Chris, Diana has shared with us the legend of the dragonflies. They have a second set of wings where angels rest on. So if a dragonfly is around you, angels are visiting you. Oh, that's so
Aw.
fun.
Oh,
Oh, Lori says it's don't worry, be happy.
yes. Be happy.
That is really neat.
I am so glad she told me that
Yeah.
because
I have not heard that before.
No.
We
All right.
Learn something every day.
Exactly. Now, at home, I did this with my bone folder, and I forgot to grab that. So we're going to try it with this. I think it's going to be fine. I just did it every 1/8 inch
Okay.
because I rarely want it close. Doesn't matter which side you start on. Although I do put it the opposite. I put down the side I want to see. So I want it to be the plain side, not the polka dot. So I put the plain side
Okay.
on my board.
So the side you want to see should be on the bottom.
Yeah, that was a much easier way to say
And
it.
and Janet posted a link, a link, not a leak, but a link, just now to Chris's Caterpillar Crease scoring board. I know several of our staff members have the Caterpillar Crease, and they really like it. There's something about the tool that comes with it that is not a normal bone folder. It's more like a stylus.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's going to work just fine, Chris.
I think so.
You make that look very easy.
It is. I just make sure I keep hold of it so that it gives you a nice straight line.
Penny did something similar on one of her cards last week, her Mother's Day cards, where she scored just across, maybe 3 or 4 times across the side, just on the card front So
Oh,
it
nice.
made it look like your card front had been scored.
And as it gets too close for me to hold, I just flip it around.
Well, there you go. Yeah, this is reminding me sometimes, and the 4 sheets of paper books we made reminds me that I could have done the spine like this and it would have curved right around the side of it.
Yeah. Okay, so hopefully you can see that.
If I get up close, I think everybody can see it. Yes, that looks good.
And this is, I'm doing a really simple
We're doing clean and
layout.
simple, Chris.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Hey,
right.
That works.
You're good.
And I'm just going to use my Grand, Easy Runner Grand.
And everybody
runner.
loves the Easy Runner Grand. But yours is a little different, Chris, because you don't have you have the blue
I have
refill,
the blue. It's my favorite.
which is the dots.
Yes.
The permanent dots.
And then I'm just going to try to get it as straight as I can.
So this is different than your other layout. You're doing it a little different.
I am. Why do two the same?
Exactly. Well, we told Chris if she came back from Vegas and won $1 million that we were hoping that she wouldn't retire. And you said you wouldn't, but you didn't win $1 million anyway.
I
so
did
think
not
we're
win
okay.
$1 million, and as I told Doug, my husband would take 75% of it to go into investments.
Oh, some kind of investment.
And so, yeah. And I think we all know I would use another 25% on jewelry.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm here. I'm going to cut this down a little bit just because.
Just because you can.
Because I can. It's my project. I can do what I want. Now, also remember, I don't do scrapbooking. It's just never been my thing.
You do everything but you're doing scrapbooking today, Chris.
I am.
And look at you, even did this layout here. And we'll probably have, I think Peggy's going to do some layouts, some wedding theme layouts that are going to be clean and simple. And then Janine is doing planner pages from Elizabeth Craft. And then we have several cards, and I don't know if we have a mini album, possibly.
Oh, that will be
So
fun.
we got lots of good stuff coming up.
Good. I'm anxious to see it and get new ideas. And then I cut out a bunch of snowflakes because you never know which one you're going to want until you start laying it
the
out.
snowflakes were the lovely layers, large snowflakes from Honeybee. And Janet just posted the Elizabeth Craft Greenery Fillers one. Maybe it wasn't online or something. And that's what Chris used. Okay, I'm going to buzz over here, Chris.
Okay.
That's what Chris used here on her layout. Oh, she's got her glue press out. Okay, I just checked the glue press yesterday, and it's still out of stock at My Sweet Petunia. So it's supposed to be available late May, and we are watching for it. So if you don't have one, make sure we get you on our list, and we'll reserve one for you when they arrive. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Adding the snowflakes just makes it cool.
Yeah, it just adds so much
Oh
to
my
it.
gosh, let me get it up a little bit. We're upside down, but I think you can tell.
Here, I can.
Well, you don't have to assemble it upside down though. But oh, that looks amazing, Chris.
Thank you. Again, and I kind of wish I had done this on a toilet paper roll so I could just flip them
Stick 'em
over
down.
and stick it down, but that's okay.
But look how cool these snowflakes are from Honeybee.
Yes, and they also, and of course, if I was doing this at home, I should have left this edge up,
Leave
but
your edge up
that's okay.
so you can slip your photos under there.
Exactly. We're not going to glue the whole thing down. I'm just going to glue some of these edges.
Well, I will say that made it a wow.
Thank you. Well, yeah, sometimes you get going and you're like, when am I going to really like this? And then you add
it
something
looks
like those
great.
snowflakes and
And I kind of like them loose like you're doing too. I think that's pretty neat.
Well, and
Everybody
once
loves
it
the
goes,
snowflakes.
good. Well, and some of you probably have some winter photos that you haven't done yet. So you could get these snowflakes and...
Chris, did those cut out pretty nicely then?
They did. I had to use, I couldn't find my pick at first. I did end up finding it. I had a paper clip at home that I used.
Or if you have that brush tool from Sizzix, you can just
Yes.
run it over the top.
Exactly.
Sharon has a great idea. She says it would be good for Christmas cards.
Oh,
Like
wouldn't
you
it
could do
though?
a Christmas
Yeah.
card and make it clean and simple and do it in the blue and white or red and white or whatever, and then just put a few snowflakes on.
I know, is that too many snowflakes?
I like it with them all being kind of the
Sparse.
sparse ones. Sparse, that's
Sparse,
a good word
yeah.
for it. Oh my gosh,
Open ones.
Chris,
Okay, there you go.
seriously, that looks really wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Put your pictures on there and you are set to go.
Especially since it was fly by the seat of my pants.
Hey, you flew well.
Hey,
you
maybe
didn't crash.
I should do that
You didn't
more
crash,
often.
Chris. Yes, it looks really good.
Good, thank you.
And I'm going to pull it up to get just a little closer on so you can see this border that we made with the crease board. And then just kind of leaving the snowflakes loose. And stick your photos in there. And you got a little room for a title, and you've got a clean and simple layout. And you know, a clean and simple layout is a great way to really focus on your pictures.
I think so too. You zero in on those photos as opposed to the busyness around it maybe.
Yes, I agree.
But it still adds something to it.
That was really nice.
Thank you.
I love that, Chris.
As you can see, this is what those look like cut out. I just have a couple
okay.
extra ones that I
So let's
didn't
grab
use.
that die set to show. Because it's kind of nice to see things cut out when you see the
Oh,
package.
definitely.
So this was the Fancy Cutaways. Diana used this quite a bit on her ATC cards, and Chris used it on her Clean and Simple. And like she said earlier, it gives you so many different looks. Okay.
All right.
Ooh,
Now
we're doing a Clean and Simple Craft in Black.
now we're going to do a card. And I was trying to remember how I went about doing this.
So we're
I
doing one
can-
kind of like these.
Yep, I'm going to do one like this. And, okay, so
And look at, I don't know, you just have some great ideas.
it doesn't matter how you really start because I cut extra pieces. So I started, I made my card base, my standard card base, cut out two other pieces, one in black because this is going to be my background.
Okay.
So this is my green.
would that be the green?
That's
okay,
my green.
So that's going to be the green on this card.
And then I have another piece that's going to go on top of that,
Okay.
which is the white. I've cut out my vine, but I did it this time in craft.
I can't wait to see this.
So let's go ahead and lay down this black piece just so
So you put your black piece on the front cover.
I
on the
did.
Front.
Yep. If I remember right.
I'm glad to know how to do this because I wondered about how you got this the way it is
Oopsie.
because it does open and you don't see any of the green or anything in there.
And obviously you could use a smaller piece of black because all you're seeing
Is the
is
center.
in there, but I just decided to go ahead and do it this way. So now I'm going to take my tan piece or my craft piece and I'm going to cut out the circle. This one I made square. I just decided it would be fun to do square. I'm going to go ahead and use or leave this one the regular length. The reason I did not center my circle is because it's more noticeable if you're off a little bit. Plus, this gives me room to put some
like
kind
a
of sentiment or a
something.
greeting.
Uh-huh.
So
Awesome.
I am going to take my best tape ever.
That's the Spellbinders craft tape, which we all love, the yellow tape. and it's the only, I always say this, but it's the only tape we carry.
I've gotten rid of my other tapes because
Yeah, they
I
don't
didn't want
stick
to grab them
or
by
they tear
mistake.
your paper.
Even though it's the best ever, I still put it on my hand and
to make sure.
pull it off. So I'm going to try to center it the best I can without measuring because I just not going to bother with it.
So just to
And-
review, she's got a craft card base. And then she had an extra craft piece that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, same size as the card base, and a black piece that's the same size that she attached to the card base. And now she's going to cut out a piece out of the extra sheet. And you know, there's lots of circle dies. You probably have one. Depending on where you put it, if you have a punch, you might be able to reach. We've got the infinity dies from Hero Arts that are very popular because there are 18 different dies here, and you can do so many different things with layered dies like that, or nesting dies.
And that's the one I have at home is the Hero Arts.
The Hero
one.
Arts.
Yeah.
So that's what we're cutting right now.
Yes. And
So we're looking at Honeybee today, Elizabeth Crafts, Sizzix, and Hero Arts. You can't get many more different dies in one demo than that, Chris.
I know. Well, gosh, I've got so much stuff at home that I don't tend to use because, you know, you just go on and now I'm looking for my pop dots, which I know I brought. Here we go. I put that, and I use way too many all the time. I'm going to come in a little further than I did on the ones that I did before because I felt I could see them on the edge a little bit. And other
So
people.
this is popped up here. You can kind of
Yep.
see it here when I bring it up close. So it makes it very dimensional.
And you wouldn't have to do that, obviously. And then I always I want a couple around the circle.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I could cut these in half and be perfectly fine. So then,
Yeah, I'm wondering, what do you do next?
well, I kind of lay this down and see where I'm going to want it.
Oh my gosh, look
And
at that.
then I'm like, okay. And because this is so much bigger than my circle, the only thing would be if you've got a certain vine pattern that you are
That you
really
wanna
liking,
see, yeah.
then you might want to be a
So
little
believe it or
pickier.
not, that's the same vine that she used here, which was the Elizabeth Crafts Fancy Cutaways. And I don't know if we told the price on these. They're $19.99 for the 4 dies.
And I really think I'm going to get a lot of use out of these.
You already have.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Well, and when you break it down, because sometimes people be like, I don't want to. If you go to the store and try to buy
Oh my
5
gosh.
cards, or however many I've made using this,
Yeah.
you've
the
already
cards are
divided it up,
pricey.
and
Chris, that looks good just like that on the black.
it does. Exactly. Like I said, I think you could use this easily without, and then I want to make sure that I like where it's at, and I do.
So now we're peeling off the backings. So you saw that Chris also cut out on her card, she had a rectangle, and we do have rectangle dies also, nesting dies.
And we have squares, which I forgot to grab. And again, I usually set my card up
I think that's a great tip.
and try to get it as close as I can this way. I think it looks pretty good.
Gosh. That looks
So
amazing.
there's that. Now, this is
Oh, is
dry.
this what we're doing the butterfly on?
The dragonfly, yeah.
Or the dragonfly, yeah. Oh, cool.
And I'm just going to line this up over it. And now I will tell you, if you do the heat emboss, you just want to make certain that you don't put your tape on your heat emboss part because
Oh, it
the
will
tape
peel it
will
off?
peel it off. And yes, I know that from experience.
Everybody is saying this is beautiful, Chris.
Oh, thank
and we
you.
haven't even added the dragonfly. And remember, the dragonfly the set has dies and stamps. from 49 and Market and Sizzix, designed by Katie Petit. And it was $19.99, and it's called Engraved Wings, and you get all three, I guess, two butterflies and a dragonfly. Diana Harker has a funny comment, Chris. She said, my husband's birthday card to me was American Greetings for $5.99, and it was very plain. It's like, well, at least he remembered your birthday, right?
I have to say, because I wasn't home for Mother's Day, and my husband and I, when we first got married, went around and around that he never would wish me a happy Mother's Day and stuff. Oops.
Because
I'm not his mother.
And I've heard that before, not from Doug, but...
And I finally said to him, you're right, because if I was your mother, I would have raised you better. And and so now he gets me, even though we weren't together on Mother's Day, he had put a Mother's Day card in my backpack.
Oh my gosh, and you didn't know it?
No, and it was just a beautiful Mother's Day card. So
that must have been so cool when you found that in your backpack.
Yes, it was very nice. And I used to do that to him when he traveled. And I had to use my liquid glue because I forgot my pop dots.
That's okay.
Or my glue dots, yeah. So I'm just going to
put our little dragonfly
put him in the middle and let it hold for a second. Now, I think I would have preferred, what did I do? Use the old one?
Well, you could pull it off.
No, I think he smeared off a little bit, but...
No, that's your old one.
Yeah.
Where's your new one go?
No, this is the new one because it's got more opening in the wings.
Okay.
And then I have...
Oh, that's so neat.
I covered a piece of paper with some of my score tape.
Okay.
And...
well, and you know what, Chris? I think that is a good thing to show because a lot of us have the toilet paper adhesive, and Janet can link the toilet paper adhesive because it is amazing to use. And if you don't have it, but you've got score tape, and there is wider score tape that you can use. It looks like Chris had a couple of 1/4-inch ones that you ran across there.
Yep. But then the nice thing is, all you have to do is...
She's going to peel it off, and the sticky is there. And is this with sympathy?
Yes.
Chris?
And especially since Diane's story about the angel wing, or an angel being with you,
oh, yes,
with the dragonfly, it seems very fitting. I think maybe I would have liked it heat embossed.
So
but
this is not the same. This is a little bit different with sympathy, but this is a really nice one and would work well, and it is like all in one piece.
Which is what I really like about
Chris,
these.
I am finding that I have used more sympathy cards in the last month than any other card, and it's nice that just to have those and have them made up for sure.
Right. Well, a customer and I were talking how that's one thing that's not on your calendar. Birthdays, anniversaries, they're on your calendar. When you need a sympathy card, it's because of a sad occasion, generally. Yeah, I might have done something different with the dragonfly, but it's okay.
It looks great.
It shows.
It has a lot of dimension with it. So there is the Going Rogue sympathy card with craft and black, which is still a plain and simple. And here's the design that Chris did, the same technique with a different size of card and different colors. And Chris, the hearts are going like crazy. They love it. It's so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
And I was looking behind you up there. Do you see that? The word dies up there?
Yes.
There's one up there that says sympathy also.
Oh, that's a nice size one too.
That looks...
And it's got width. Oh, those are nice. And they've got background.
So here's an Elizabeth Craft die for $22.99, and it's called
Look at all those words.
Everyday Words 3. And these would look really nice on these cards too. And you know what, Chris? If I was using this for a clean and simple card, I would maybe do the shadow and do it in craft.
Oh, wouldn't that be
nice? So it
nice?
still stays, very simple.
Well, yeah,
but
I would like that.
Everyday Words 3, which would work great for what Chris is doing. And then here's Everyday Words 2 from Elizabeth Craft. So get well soon is on there, hi or hi there, thankful. And again, these have the shadows too. And we always love it. It might be a Kelly thing, but I like it when the letters are linked.
Oh boy.
So you're not trying to do all kinds of separate letters. So
No, that is not just a Kelly thing. I very seldom, especially these small ones, I won't buy them if I have to
Right.
put my letters together.
it's so nice when it's all in the same word.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think this has been fantastic. We,
Well, thank you.
like we said, we use, let's see, 4 different brands or 5 brands of dyes. Chris showed us how to make this little opening on the front that's not really an opening. It's more like a window kind
Yeah,
of.
there you go.
A dimensional window and embossing the butterflies. This one was just putting a die cut, an intricate die cut, and then that pop of pink on there with the honeybee pearl in the bow. And then we've got the happy birthday. And I do think we have that happy birthday die.
All I could find was that bigger one, but it might be
I think
in
it might
birthday.
have come in from IO.
Oh,
but I
okay,
think we
nice.
we just got a happy birthday. We just showed it, I think, yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So everybody loves it, Chris. The hearts are
Well,
coming
thank you.
in. So thank you so very much from flying in from Vegas and hopping down here this morning and showing us these great projects and doing layouts. We have a lot of people that ask for scrapbook layouts and not just cards. So you hit both for sure. And tomorrow is Thursday. And do you know what we're doing tomorrow? Do you have any idea?
I've been gone, Kelly.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, we're going to be back tomorrow, and I know we have more clean and simple.
It's going to be something awesome.
It's going to be amazing. Don't miss out. It's going to be amazing. And let's see if we have any other questions. I don't think we do, so we're good
Okay.
to go. Chris, thank you
Awesome.
so much.
You're welcome.
And thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Bye.